Okay, thanks, Mark. I was hoping someone would check in and let's see. I'm using a new microphone today. How is the sound? Anything there for sound? Give me a response. Let me know because we're using a new microphone today. Okay, just wait for some comments, see if anything comes up, and hopefully you're able to hear me. We'll see. Oh, it's good to have Mom on. All right, we've got a good. Thank you. Excellent. Hey, Lynn, how are ya? Glad to have you on today. So welcome, everybody. It is 2:01 Eastern Time. We are having a gorgeous day here in Littleton, Massachusetts. The weather is pretty much perfect. I can tell because I'm looking at it out a window and my window is open. So that's how I know. I haven't actually been outside since 8:30 this morning, but I can tell you it looks really good. So that's how I know. Great story for you today to start with. So, and it just happened a couple minutes ago. My son is home from college. He's 21. His school obviously shut down in March, and he's home now. And so he's living with us at the parsonage. And he's home, he's taking care of the dog, he's doing his work upstairs, and all of a sudden he hears this beeping sound and a voice, booming voice, coming up from the basement. And he has no idea what it is, so he calls me. He's like, "Who's in the basement? What's going on?" And come to find out, it's just the smoke detectors at the parsonage are the talking kind of smoke detectors. So there actually isn't anyone in the basement. It's just, I think, a low battery. So there's your funny story for the day, that the parsonage is not haunted, and there is no one apparently living in the basement of the parsonage. It just is a low battery on the smoke detector. So now we know. I'm really glad that he was there and I wasn't, because he probably was much more low key than I would be, thinking that there was someone in the basement. So that's that. Today, I have something to show you. Tea at 2 with Rev Jen. I'm trying to find ways to share a little bit more about myself as I start a ministry in the pandemic. And I hope everybody has their tea or whatever they're drinking. I'm just doing some ice water today. But what I'm doing is I'm pulling things off my shelf and just random things to talk a little bit more about myself, things that I like, things that I have, stories that I enjoy, and to share them with you over Facebook Live. Today I pulled out a book that I've read fairly recently, maybe in the past 2 years, and it's called Canoeing in the Mountains, and it's by Todd Balsinger. Subtitle is Christian Leadership in Uncharted Territory. So I pulled this out because I really love the story of what happened with Lewis and Clark. And I didn't know this. Maybe it was taught in my history class and I was too busy passing notes or something. I didn't catch it. But this idea that Lewis and Clark were completely prepared to find the waterway to the Pacific Ocean, right? They were going to find this Northwest Passage. They were ready to go. They were in their canoes. They had what they needed for a water passage. And then they find that it doesn't work that way, and what they were prepared for isn't going to work. They were prepared for a water passage with their canoes, but what they actually discovered were the Rocky Mountains. And so canoeing in the mountains, it's not going to work. If you want to get to where you're going, you got to get out of the canoes. Even though you've prepared for the canoes, even though everything you know is the canoes, even though the history is all about canoes, suddenly you can't canoe anymore. And when I was thinking about what to talk about today, this book jumped out at me, because my goodness, in this pandemic, our canoes are not working anymore. And we really need to find new ways to be together, to be church. What we thought was going to be the Northwest Passage, this waterway straight through for the church, is clearly not. We have come against a set of Rocky Mountains known as the pandemic, as COVID-19, this novel COVID virus. So I really liked this book a lot, highly recommend it. And again, any of my books on the shelves, if you would like to borrow them and you don't mind underlined passages and random little notes in here, you are always welcome to borrow any of my books. But there's a paraphrase in here from Marshall Goldsmith that sort of has been ringing in my head lately. And the phrase is, what got us here won't get us there. And we've come against this time in the church, not just the church in Littleton, but I think the church universal. We have to start looking at things differently. What got us here is not going to get us there. So that is my story today, the story of the smoke detector and my story of Lewis and Clark and the lessons that we can learn from them, that sometimes you've just got to abandon your canoes or you're not going to get where you need to go. That is the message. Our prayer today is one of my, hi, Pat from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, checking in. Nice to have you here. Just the comments popping up. Wrong book. My prayer today comes from the prayers of Walter Brueggemann. And as they say, if you're going to go ahead and spell Walter's last name, make sure you leave extra space for extra letters you didn't know were there. So the prayers of Walter Brueggemann. Ought to heaven, rooted in earth. And I was looking for a prayer today. This is a really fun random thing. And the prayer that I opened to, well, I was looking for one on this topic, and it's called The Threats Do Not Wane. The Threats Do Not Wane. And I invite you to listen. I am not going to change a single word of what has been published here. Not changing a word. So listen carefully. The threats do not wane. The dangers are not imagined. The power to undo is on the loose, and in the midst you speak your word. It is your word that cuts the threat, that siphons off the danger, that tames the powers. You speak, and all is made new. You speak your true self of abiding faithfulness, of durable presence, of long-standing reliability. You give yourself an utterance of fear not. And we do not fear. We do not fear because you are with us and so safe, with us and so free, with us and so joyous. We diminish our lives and our feeble anxiety, and you veto our anxiety. We cheapen our neighborhood with our frantic greed, and you nullify our greed with your satiation. We pollute our world in our lust for safety, and you detoxify our mess. Now come here, and in Kosovo, here, and in Littleton, here, and in East Lake, here, and in Louisville, here, and there, and there, and there. Override the fickleness of it all, and give us faith, commensurate with your true abiding self. Amen. Did you catch the Littleton? I don't know where he was. May have been here, may have been Colorado. Who knows? But Littleton, right in the prayer. Didn't change a word. So I think that's one of those great coincidences, or God winks at us from time to time. I like that. I like when that happens. So thank you for joining me. for our tea at 2 or ice water at 2 in our Jedi Master reusable mug. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy this glorious day that we have been given. And I look forward to seeing you in person someday soon. And I look forward to sharing worship with you all on Sunday morning at 10. Reverend Barb is preaching this Sunday. I'm really excited to hear her. And I will see you then. Thanks again for joining me, and God bless. Take care. See you soon. Bye.